Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Intuitive Tuesday. So, in speaking with my guide team, my higher self, I have been coming to this story about, who's your daddy? Who is your daddy? Who's the original fathering seed of this planet? And then it comes down to a lot of the same stories. And two brothers, one good, one bad, one trying to destroy the other, and then the inverted matrix, and, all these people from other planets trying to take from this planet in order to feed themselves. And then in order to feed themselves and take from this planet, they had to create a slave race. And then, all these super intelligent geneticists, and how the slave race was created, and some have soul sparks and some don't, and so on and so forth, and all this kind of craziness. Quite frankly, it does come down to crazy. But what's the crazy part about it is the fact that we entertain a lot of that information, keeping us from this present moment time reality of who am I in this moment, regardless of anything else. Now, we already know that when we're born unto our parents, that we are raised and we are to go out away from our parents and go on our own, right? So if you are here in this moment as an adult functioning outside of your parental domain, you're on your own, and you're to be living a life that is of the highest give and receive in the name of love possible. And still dodging all of the daily stuff, but keeping your heart in a place and intention so your attention goes into the places of love, right? All right. So now let's back up a second and let's go back to this. Who's your daddy? No one says, who's your mommy? Who's your daddy? Okay, let's just go with who's your daddy. So when we look at some of these far-fetched stories that fill our brain with so many distractions and bippity-bobbity-boo that mean nothing in the now and the who of you in this thisness, right? So what about all the IVFs? What about all the experiments that we know were conducted before, during, in between, and after World War? So we know all that. That's come to light. But we look at those things as happening in another country and not unto us, right? So a lot of that information never came to light because it was suppressed and hidden, and then distorted and tamed down. So you never really got a lot of that information. It was swept in and out of a history book. Okay. So even now when you go back, you look and you say, where's all that? And so then I move forward to infertility. And I think to myself, because I worked OBGYN for a long time, and I saw the incline of this, and I thought to myself, what exactly happens? So they go in and barbarically take eggs from the woman and take sperm in the normal way from the guy. And then they take it to a lab and they wash it all out. And then they put it together in a petri dish so multiple embryos can be formed, and then they go in and implant it in the woman. But it's not as easy as that. It's not. Because look at all the injections the women have to take. You notice the men aren't taking any injections. Women are taking it because they're bearing the brunt of having a baby. Because women, as evolved as we may get, go back to the conventional patriarchal ways of the man first, woman second. We're to be the homemakers, provide the babies, etc., etc. And we're worth nothing if we can't do that. So anyway, that's a whole other topic. So let's go back to this genetic stuff that's happening in the lab. We don't know what's happening in that lab. We know that you can go in and remove different things to create a different being. We do know that. We know something is going on. And let me tell you the story here in the DC area. So one of the most popular IVF institutes here, leading, cutting edge, best success, etc., was later found out that the physician owner was fathering these babies. Wrap your head around that. Can you imagine wanting a baby so desperately that you're going to go through all these hormonal ups and downs? And trust me, you are uneven and imbalanced when all that is occurring because you want so desperately to have a child. And you're paying a fortune for it, by the way, and signing your life away, right? You're not really reading the fine print, what it is that they're doing, in hopes that an implantation will take. When most of the issues are never about holding on to the baby, it's about maybe a low sperm or a low egg count or a low quality of the egg because of a certain age, so you're told. So when you find out that the head of this thing, that you've come together with your husband and you've implanted and you've got maybe 1 or 2 new babies, and this is modern science, and oh my God, I'm going to shout from the rooftops because I got my babies and the rest doesn't matter. And then to come to find out it was never part of your husband's DNA. It was part of the mad scientist at the local science building. And God knows what else is being created. God knows what else is being created. Now what you're seeing in the last few decades, and I'm going to talk on a touchy subject here, is nobody really knows who they are. And there's a lot of groups being formed that have a lot of abbreviations to them. So my mind always goes back to what's really happening to the egg and to the sperm. And is it really the mother's egg and the intended father's sperm? So if you can look at the craziness that happens right in front of your reality today, you have no room to really look at the craziness that may have happened from all these philosophies and all these different channels and information that's coming through from the past. There's only so much room in your subconscious. It just keeps piling on layer after layer. So you film the first part of the consciousness, and then you're putting another layer of information and another layer of information and another layer of information till you have no idea what your higher self is, because you have bogged it down with so much information that may or may not pertain to you, may or may not be in your lane, may or may not be in your purpose of your missions. But yet you want to take on all of this information. Or it's such shocking to you that you just have to shut off and deny that it could have occurred. Either way, it's stored. It's stored. And moving into a lot of these new energies that are coming in that a lot of people don't understand just yet. but it's beautiful. We can't make room for the new when we've got filled to the brim and pouring out of every orifice our storage unit of information that we don't need to hold on to. Can you imagine filling your closet and then every year filling your closet and every year filling your closet, and then maybe you take out one or two things, but you never really go in there and completely just release what no longer serves you and may serve someone else or just needs to go to the trash? Can you imagine just what your closet would look like? Just to give you a little brief reality check. You wouldn't. You wouldn't keep the shoes every year and pile on new shoes on top of the old shoes. You just wouldn't. Because the old shoes don't serve you, so you replace them with new shoes. But in between the new shoe and the old shoe, hopefully you've got a shopping void in there, like you're looking at what to replace with. Okay? Don't be afraid to leave your shelves empty for a little while. Don't be afraid to leave your subconscious less filled. Our subconscious can rule our consciousness because it always brings back all of this stuff, and it doesn't always serve in this moment. It leaves us betwixt and befuddled and sometimes really effed up because we thought we had dealt with something and we may not have, or it's coming up because it needs to be dealt with and released in some way, shape, or form, which is the work I do. I help you get in there and weed and release and get to your really true, authentic, higher self without all this information that you're taking in consciously and unconsciously. Because even if you're talking on the phone and the radio's in the background and you're driving your car, your subconscious is recording everything from that radio. Every frequency, every word, every note from that radio, even though you may not even remember anything of what was playing on the radio because you were busy talking on the phone. Does that make sense? So just imagine the unraveling that needs to be done and the releasing that needs to be done in order to lighten you up and get more in touch with your higher self and your guide team and the divinity that you are. So you want to bring in this newness, this whole new spiritual nutrition, this whole new wardrobe of information that is magical. You got to let go of what's not working. Okay? Of what's not giving you this sense of joy through the information that you're now going to be able to receive once you clean out all the old stuff. It's not that difficult. I'm telling you. It might sound like, oh my God, if I open that Pandora's box or the window or the door, this is going to be hard. Well, it ain't a cakewalk. Whatever that actually is. But it's not as difficult as you think. So you got to merge and purge all of it and open up more to this and expand your conscious thinking to more than just a few weeks back and a few weeks forward and in the now moment, because you think you're thinking forward, but anyway, they're telling me enough. You all get the picture. info@embodimentofthesoul.com is my email. info@embodimentofthesoul.com is my email. Go to my website, Embodiment of the Soul. Take a look at some of the things. If it's something you're interested in and you're ready, because you got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be like, I've made this decision. I'm consenting to the releasing of what does not serve me. And Sandy will assist me on that. And then I'll be on my own. And I can just touch base back with her. All right? Much love and light, because you are walking, living, loving light. You are. You are. All the other stuff that isn't loving, living light is irrelevant because you've created it. And that's a whole other topic. Know who you are in this second, in this moment. Get to know you. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next video.